Hi, and welcome to English-Fabule. Are you learning English? Great. Let's learn English with a very interesting story. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. Let's get started.
In the Negev desert in Israel, there is a very important secret. It is located at the Shimon Peres Negev Nuclear Research Center in Dimona. Many people know about this place. For over 6 decades, this center has been central to Israel's special defense policy. This policy is called amimut, which is a Hebrew word meaning ambiguity. Amimut is a unique way for Israel to act. It means that the country does not officially confirm or deny if it has nuclear weapons. Instead, it keeps this information secret. Even though most of the world believes Israel possesses nuclear weapons, the country itself never states it clearly. This policy of not saying yes or no has been a very important part of Israel's strategy for a long time. It has helped Israel through many difficult times, including wars and peace talks, giving it a strong hand in the region. Experts who study defense believe that Israel has a number of nuclear weapons. This policy of amimut has allowed Israel to build its defense power. It also helps Israel avoid facing strict international rules and punishments that countries often get when they openly have nuclear weapons. However, the world is changing very quickly. The Middle East faces new dangers and challenges, from new technologies to different alliances. Because of these changes, a big question for this story is, can Israel's secret policy, which everyone knows about, continue to be useful and safe in the modern world of the 21st century? 2. A secret plan. After the terrible Holocaust, many people in the new country of Israel felt very scared. 6 million Jewish people had died. They said, "Never again." This meant they wanted Jewish people to be safe forever. David Ben-Gurion, Israel's first prime minister, believed this deeply. He wanted Israel to be safe no matter what. He thought nuclear weapons were the best way to protect his small country. He was very focused on this. He saw these weapons not for attacking, but as an ultimate insurance policy. It was a promise that Israel could always defend itself. Israel was a new country, founded in 1948. Many neighbors did not want it to exist. Ben-Gurion believed Israel needed more than just a strong army. It needed a special way to ensure its survival. A young leader named Shimon Peres helped Ben-Gurion with this plan. They knew Israel could not make all nuclear technology alone. So they looked for help from other countries. In 1957, Israel made a secret agreement with France. France agreed to help build a special nuclear site at Dimona in the Negev desert. Construction started in 1958. No one was supposed to know Dimona's true purpose. For the public, Israel said it was a textile factory or for peaceful research. Most of the Israeli government and parliament did not know the truth. Airspace above Dimona was closed to keep the secret. The main part of Dimona was a nuclear reactor. But a bigger secret was deep underground. There, a large 6-story facility was built. This underground plant was for making material for nuclear weapons. This was the key technology to turn Israel into a nuclear state. In 1900, planes from the United States saw the reactor dome at Dimona. They knew it was not a textile factory, but Israeli leaders kept saying it was for peaceful use. Ben-Gurion told President Dwight D. Eisenhower and President John F. Kennedy that Dimona was only for research for medicine and industry. This big lie was part of Israel's secret plan. 3. Hiding the truth. Israel worked to keep its nuclear program secret. They told everyone that the Dimona facility in the Negev desert was only a textile factory. This was a big lie to hide their real goal. For many years, they made it look like a normal industrial site. However, the United States government grew suspicious. In 1960, American spy planes flew over Dimona. They took pictures showing a large round dome on the building. This dome looked like a nuclear reactor, not a factory. The photos suggested Israel was not being honest. President John F. Kennedy, who started his term in 1961, was very concerned about nuclear weapons spreading. He pushed Israel hard. In 1962, he asked Israel to allow regular American inspections at Dimona. He warned that if Israel developed nuclear weapons, the United States might cut its support. This was a very serious threat. Israeli leaders like David Ben-Gurion tried to reassure President Kennedy. They claimed Dimona was only for peaceful scientific research, such as for medicine and farming. But secretly, Israel continued its work on nuclear weapons. A key meeting happened when Shimon Peres, an Israeli defense official, met President Kennedy. Peres made a clever promise. He said Israel would not be the first to introduce nuclear weapons to the region. This statement was carefully chosen. It did not say Israel would not possess nuclear weapons. It only said they would not be the first to officially present or use them. This let Israel continue its secret work, creating deliberate ambiguity. American inspections started, but they were mostly a show. Israel controlled what the inspectors saw. They let Americans visit some areas of Dimona, but only after being told in advance. Israeli staff often hid equipment and even built temporary walls to cover secret sections, like the underground plutonium facility. The inspections were not fully open, and the Americans knew they were being misled. By the mid-1960s, American intelligence strongly believed Israel had a hidden plant for making nuclear material. A United States government report in 1967 confirmed these suspicions. It stated that Israel had a plutonium separation plant at Dimona. The report also said Israel's reactor was making enough material for bombs, and they could build nuclear weapons in just 6 to 8 weeks. It called Israel's actions a full-blown deception operation. This confirmed Israel had successfully hidden the truth for many years. 4. A silent agreement. Chapter 4 looks at a special idea called amimut. This Hebrew word means deliberate ambiguity. It is Israel's way of dealing with its nuclear weapons. It means two things. First, Israel keeps its nuclear program a secret. Second, it lets hints come out about having nuclear power. This careful balance makes other countries wonder and creates a kind of power. Enemies are unsure about Israel's true nuclear abilities, which helps keep them from attacking. This policy became official in a very important year, 1969. At that time, Golda Meir was Israel's prime minister. She had a secret meeting with the U.S. President, Richard Nixon. The U.S. government already believed that Israel had nuclear bombs. But President Nixon's team wanted to be sure that Israel would not openly show these weapons. The U.S. had been asking Israel many questions about its nuclear program. The meeting between Meir and Nixon was very private. No official notes were kept, showing how sensitive it was. But many people believe they made an unspoken deal. President Nixon made it clear that the U.S. mainly wanted Israel to avoid showing its nuclear weapons in public. This meant Israel should not do nuclear tests, should not say it had nuclear bombs, and should not visibly prepare to use them. In return for Israel keeping its nuclear abilities quiet, the United States promised to stop asking about them. America would not put pressure on Israel about its nuclear program anymore. This silent agreement was a big moment for both countries. It made Israel an exception to America's usual rules against the spread of nuclear weapons. This important understanding became the basis of nuclear relations between the U.S. and Israel for more than 50 years. It helped build Israel's long-term nuclear policy. This agreement let Israel keep its nuclear weapons secret while avoiding global punishment. It set the stage for how Israel would manage its nuclear status for decades to come, shaping security in the Middle East. 5. Why it works. Israel's special policy, called amimut, works for three main reasons. These reasons help Israel stay safe without saying it has nuclear weapons. This careful approach gives Israel many advantages. First, amimut creates deterrence through uncertainty. This means that other countries do not know exactly what Israel can do. They do not know how many nuclear weapons Israel has, or when it might use them. This doubt makes potential enemies afraid. They think twice before attacking Israel because they do not know what will happen next. This policy stops countries hoping for another great disaster for Israel. Since Israel got these weapons in the late 1960s, big wars with neighboring Arab countries have happened less often. This shows the strong effect of doubt. Second, amimut helps stop a nuclear arms race in the Middle East. If Israel said it had nuclear weapons, other countries like Egypt or Syria might want to build their own. But because Israel does not officially say it has them, other countries cannot use this as a clear reason to start their own nuclear programs. For many years, no Arab country has successfully built nuclear weapons. When Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman talked about building nuclear bombs in 2018, he mentioned Iran as the reason, not Israel. This shows that amimut helps keep other countries from developing their own bombs. Third, amimut helps Israel avoid international punishment. Countries that test nuclear bombs or say they have them often face sanctions. These are like punishments from other countries or global groups. India and Pakistan, for example, faced sanctions. But Israel has never tested its weapons openly or said they have them. It has also not signed the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty. This means no one can officially say Israel is breaking treaty rules. This way, Israel avoids economic and diplomatic problems. It also allows countries like Germany to still work with Israel on military things, like giving them submarines. These three benefits show why amimut has been a successful policy for many years. It keeps Israel safe, helps stop others from building bombs, and helps Israel avoid problems with the world. 6. Different rules for different countries. For many years, the world created rules to stop nuclear weapons from spreading. These rules are part of a very important agreement called the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, or NPT. Almost every country in the world signed this treaty. Countries that signed the NPT and did not have nuclear weapons before 1967 promised not to make them. They also agreed to allow international experts to check their nuclear sites to ensure they were not building bombs. Israel chose not to sign the NPT. This means Israel is not legally bound by the treaty's rules. Because of this, Israel does not allow international checks on its nuclear sites, like Dimona. Its special position means it operates outside the system that most other nations follow. This situation is very different from countries like Iran. Iran is a member of the NPT. This means Iran promised not to develop nuclear weapons. But there have been strong concerns and investigations about Iran's nuclear program for many years. Because of these concerns, the United Nations and many powerful countries, including the United States, have placed strict economic sanctions on Iran. These sanctions have greatly hurt Iran's economy and stopped it from trading freely with many nations. However, Israel, which is widely believed to have nuclear weapons, has never faced such sanctions. It continues to receive strong support from countries like the United States. This difference in treatment is often called a double standard in international politics. Supporters of this approach argue that Israel is a stable democracy and a close ally of Western countries. They believe Israel is a responsible nation and would only use its nuclear capabilities if its survival was truly threatened. They also say Israel's nuclear weapons help keep peace by deterring potential attackers, without starting a regional arms race because the weapons are kept secret. But critics strongly disagree. They say that international law should apply to everyone, regardless of who their allies are or what type of government they have. They argue that this double standard makes the NPT weaker. It also causes anger in the Middle East, especially among Arab countries and in Iran, who feel the world is unfair. This can make the region more unstable, as other countries might feel they need their own nuclear weapons to be safe. How Arab countries in the region view Israel's secret bomb also varies. Some Arab nations, like Egypt and Jordan, have signed peace treaties with Israel. They have generally accepted Israel's nuclear status quietly as part of a wider agreement. More recently, some Gulf Arab states have also moved towards closer ties with Israel, seeing a common threat from Iran. For these countries, Israel's nuclear capability might even be seen as a silent deterrent against shared enemies. However, many other Arab leaders and people in the region still see Israel's nuclear program as a major concern. They believe it creates an imbalance of power and goes against the idea of a nuclear-free Middle East. They often point to the different treatment of Israel and Iran as proof of an unfair global system. This makes it harder to build trust and lasting peace in the region. 7. The secret is out. For many years, Israel's nuclear program was a secret that almost everyone knew. But in 1986, one man made sure the world saw the proof. His name was Mordecai Vanunu. He worked at the Dimona nuclear facility for almost 10 years, from 1976 to 1985. During his time there, Vanunu saw parts of the underground plutonium plant that American inspectors never saw. He took photos and wrote down many details about the facility. These details gave specific evidence of Israel's advanced nuclear power. Vanunu felt it was wrong to keep these secrets. His reasons were complex. He had personal problems, but also growing political and moral beliefs. He became a pacifist and started to believe Israel's secret nuclear weapons were a danger to the region and the world. He decided to expose what he saw. He gave his information and photos to a newspaper in London called the Sunday Times. The technical details Vanunu shared were very important and exact. A nuclear weapons expert named Frank Barnaby examined Vanunu's evidence. He concluded that Israel likely possessed about 100 to 150 nuclear warheads. This made Israel the sixth largest nuclear power in the world. The photographs showed advanced production facilities capable of making enough plutonium for 10 to 12 nuclear weapons every year. This was far more than any peaceful research would need. Vanunu's actions did not just confirm Israel's capabilities, they gave enemies a detailed map of the country's most important strategic sites. Israel reacted very quickly and strongly. Agents from Mossad, Israel's secret service, found Vanunu in London. A female agent tricked him to go to Rome. There, they gave him drugs and secretly took him to Israel. His trial was held behind closed doors. He was sentenced to 18 years in prison, spending more than 11 of those years alone in a small cell. Amnesty International strongly said this treatment was a form of torture. Even after he was released in 2004, Vanunu was not truly free. He could not leave Israel, talk to foreign reporters, or discuss any new information. These rules lasted for many years because Israel still saw him as a threat to its nuclear security. The Vanunu affair made people around the world ask important questions. If one person could show the world such deep secrets, was Israel's nuclear secret still truly hidden? Many people now had undeniable proof. This made the old policy of amimut, not confirming and not denying its nuclear status, seem less practical. It started a big debate. Is nuclear ambiguity still a good idea when everyone already knows the truth? Some people argue it still helps keep peace by creating uncertainty for enemies. Others say it causes problems by allowing a double standard in global nuclear rules. The secret is out, and Israel continues to manage the balance between known capabilities and formal silence. 8. The future of the secret. Israel's nuclear policy is a strange thing, a secret that everyone knows. This situation is called a paradox. For over 50 years, Israel has kept silent about its nuclear weapons. This policy, known as ambiguity, aimed to deter enemies without officially saying Israel had the bomb. It helped Israel avoid international punishment and stopped other countries in the region from seeking nuclear weapons. However, today, this 50-year-old strategy faces new serious challenges. Iran's nuclear program is one major issue. If Iran develops nuclear weapons, Israel might need to be more open about its own nuclear power. Ambiguity worked well against non-nuclear enemies. But facing a nuclear-armed Iran might require a clearer message to prevent conflict. New technology also creates different threats. Cyber attacks can cause great damage without physical bombs. Drones and precise missiles can hit targets accurately. These modern dangers differ from past large-scale wars. Israel's original nuclear policy was designed for older conflicts. It may not be enough for today's high-tech attacks. Many experts also believe the secret is already widely known, making ambiguity less effective. Some people still believe ambiguity is the best path. They argue it prevents a nuclear arms race and keeps Israel safe, pointing to its long history of success. But others feel it is time for clarity. They suggest that being open could help manage new threats better and strengthen international support. The big question is, can this secret nuclear policy still work well in the 21st century? Or has the world changed too much? Is a secret nuclear policy smart for a country? Or is it better to be open about nuclear weapons? Thinking about this helps us understand the complex future of peace.
Hey there! Just a second before you go. If you learned something new today, please give this video a like, write your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to the channel. It only takes a second, and it really, really helps to create even better English videos for you. Your support means the world. Thank you.